Let's preview some of the action from college football Saturday. Week 7 kicked off with Ohio State dominating Illinois on the road just like I expected, 34-16. This is a good Illinois team that can win 9, maybe even 10 games if they run the table. But when they match up against elite physical teams, they are going to struggle. They just don't have the line of scrimmage or the perimeter talent. They gave Ohio State a battle. They actually outgained them in yards, but Ohio State's defense prevails again with good turnovers, and they controlled this game. Ole Miss nearly loses to Washington State at home. This has to be a little bit of a concern if you're an Ole Miss fan, but I wouldn't overreact too much. It was coming off of a bye week, and Washington State just has a lot to prove. Ole Miss dominated Tulane, and they've looked pretty good this year. They play Georgia next week. We'll know how good they truly are. It was a slow start. I think the bye week definitely caught up to them, but when it mattered the most, they managed to move the ball offensively, get stops, and they won this game. We saw Alabama get another much-needed win. They are now 5-1 with a lot better playoff chances. They're a couple plays away from being a 2 or 3 loss team. They barely snuck by Missouri. They barely snuck by Georgia. But regardless, Ty Simpson has showed that he's a good quarterback. The offensive line is just very inconsistent. This team as a whole is inconsistent. Missouri is a good football team, but you got to feed Ahmad Hardy the ball more, and Bo Prabula is just not in at quarterback. I don't think any of these teams are super good, and I think that just goes to show how down the SEC is once again. But what can I say? It is an open landscape. No conference in college football is perfect. This Florida State defense is even worse than it was last year. The offense is better. Castellanos, I think he gets the job done at quarterback. He gets a bit too much criticism. But ultimately, Pitt threw for over 300 yards with the backup quarterback. They ran the ball well too. Pitt's been scoring a lot of points this year. They might be able to make a run at the ACC title. That conference is wide open. Whoever that new UCLA play caller is needs a raise because he has absolutely elevated this offense. Albeit Michigan State's had a pretty weak defense, but doing this all on the road at a 12 p.m. kickoff time was pretty impressive. UCLA is riding off a lot of momentum. The coaching staff has made a difference. Nico is playing into his comfort zone. This team might be able to make a run out of bowl games.